The Weekly, hosted by the editors of Pro Builder and Pro Remodeler, starts now.
So I'm here today with Ryan Hurd, CEO and founder of Caregiver Smart Solutions, to discuss where two strong housing and design trends meet: aging in place and smart home technology. So welcome, Ryan. Thank you for speaking with me today. So to start, Ryan, why don't you give a brief overview of your company, Caregiver Smart Solutions?
I've been in the smart technology arena for 30 years. I wrote a book called Join the Smart Home Revolution. And you might have seen me on TV, whether it's HGTV or DIY Networks or A&E, talking about smart technology and how we use it in the different stages of life, from millennial to family to our aging loved ones. Now, as we're talking about now, uh, when you talk about our aging loved ones, there's a lot of things that we are worried about. So I've come up with Caregiver Smart Solutions, which gives us a way of keeping an eye on our loved ones, non-invasively, and enabling them to retain their independence as long as possible. So that shows the power of how do we use technology and smart technology to enable our loved ones to live on their own longer, because guess what? We love our independence. You remember the time that you got your license and you got to use the car for the first time, and now you are free. That taste of independence. Fast forward to grandma, who's 95 years old. Yes, we're all concerned about her, but she still wants to live on her own because she's had years of independence. So how do we use smart technology to enable them to live on their own, as well as be proactive? Just between you and I, when we ask our aging loved ones how they're doing, they're always going to say they're okay. But, sometimes they're doing a little bit of a white lie there.
As we know, aging in place, it's increasingly important for homeowners. And so could you tell us a little bit about why is that? And what do you think builders need to know about people who choose and want to age in place?
So there's a couple of dynamics that are happening at the same time. First off, you've got 55 million Americans that are 65 and older, and 10,000 Americans turn 65 every single day. So it's huge. It's huge. Now, when you look at the assisted living side, there's only 1.7, 1.8 million beds. So we don't have enough space for these people, if they need help, to live. So what does that mean to the home builders? That means the next generation of 55 plus communities, a place that is going to be a 65 plus community that is going to be designed in such a way that they can have all of their enjoyment, all of their fun, but an actual condo, apartment, townhouse, single family home that is designed in such a way that stays with them as they get older. So it could be simple as no threshold um, showers to higher cabinets, wider doorways. I mean, from a builder standpoint, this is very easy to do. And as far as builders go, it's definitely an opportunity moving forward, because there's just not enough housing for our aging loved ones. It's that simple.
So obviously there are lots of different types of smart technology that are out there. There's voice control, cameras, ovens you can control from your cell phone, lighting, so it goes on. So how do you distinguish what types of technologies are best for older generations?
What I love most about technology is when it can actually help us as humans. What do I mean by that? So every group has got their own needs and how you can use technology. But if we talk about our aging loved ones, there's a couple of unique circumstances there. So if you look at people that have, let's say, retired, let's pick on a 75-year-old male. Listen, he's been out of the workforce for 10 years. What kind of technology did we have 10 years ago? I mean, we had cell phones, but we didn't have the smartphone. It wasn't as prolific as it is today. We had video conferencing, but you had to go into a corporate boardroom and use $100,000 Cisco or some other telecom system. You didn't have Facebook, or you didn't have Zoom on your phone, as we're doing right now. And now it's accepted. And then if you fast forward to, let's say, 95-year-old grandma, you know, she hasn't touched technology in ages. That said, the worst thing you can do is go to grandma's house and remove her front door lock and replace it with like a smart door lock. Because all of a sudden she comes home and instead of seeing a keyhole, she sees a keyhole with a bunch of buttons, and that freaks her house. What did you do? I just want to put the key in and open. So what does that mean to the builders community? Well, there's technology that makes sense and technology that doesn't make so much sense. And you have to understand your core consumer. Who are you building for? So, for example, technology that is useful in this realm is going to be smart lights, the ability to turn lights on within the home. But then there's other technology that is very useful. So let's talk about the smart microwave. So the ability to have a smartphone, scan a QR code or scan that bag, and the microwave know exactly what it is and what they have to do. I mean, even for me, and I'm just about to turn 50, that's a godsend. I will use that all the time. So that's a example of technology that can actually help us. Now, there's other technologies that might seem a little, why would I need that? So why do I need to talk to my toilet? On the outset, you're absolutely right. It seems crazy, but let's pick on grandma again. Let's pick on that person that's 95 years old, or let's pick on that person that, has a little bit of a hard time getting up. They have a hard time getting up. They have a hard time getting to the front door. On a toilet, it's hard to push yourself up. It's hard to do other things. And then on top of that, after everything's said and done, we're asking them to turn around and flush the toilet. So if I can use technology and just add that little bit of Alexa, flush the toilet, you know what? For grandma, for dad, for our aging loved ones, that is a game changer. So when we look at technology, you really have to look at it from the lens of the consumer that you're trying to solve a problem for or building for, and what kind of technology makes sense for them, their lifestyle at that point in life. Those are just a couple of little examples of how you can leverage today's smart technology to help our aging loved ones. And if you build it and design it right, you'll now attract more of those customers, in this case, to the pro building community.
You had talked about protective and proactive technologies. What is a protective smart tech and what is a proactive one?
So one of the reasons I came up with Caregiver Smart Solutions is because everything that is in age tech, so again, aging in place technology for that, is either off the shelf, and it does have its place. It's those video doorbells, it's smart lighting, it's those kind of things. And in certain cases, they absolutely make sense. But then when we think about our aging loved ones, right now, everything is reactive. It's I've fallen and I can't get up. So that's a reactive technology. And we're betting the farm that, God forbid, something happens, they have the ability and cognitive ability to remember to push this button. When you talk about proactive, it's how can I leverage smart technology to be proactive? So, in other words, in my case, with Caregiver Smart Solutions, we're looking at your habits because as humans, we're creatures of habits. So you pretty much get up at the same time every day, you go downstairs, you make your cup of coffee, whatever it is. So when we map those kind of things, we start looking at things that are outside of that. So for example, let's say mom's habit is that she gets up twice a night to go to the bathroom, and that's normal. Okay, green check mark, everything is fine. But all of a sudden, she starts getting up 5 times a night, 3 nights in a row. Well, that could absolutely be a problem. It could be a urinary tract infection.
What are some of the benefits you think builders can reap if they really understand aging in place and building for older generations?
Understanding that core audience that you're building for is very, very important. On the 55 plus side, you want to give them a high quality home. They want all of the features like they normally have had in a smaller package, a little more cost effective, but they're willing to spend that money on that granite countertops because it's only 20 linear feet instead of 40 linear feet, right? So they do want high quality. But if you can give them that and build it with an eye towards the future to say, listen, you're making an investment in possibly your last house, but giving them everything that they want, that is a selling feature. And I think the other key to it is also going to be at that age, they're very active. So building the house with an eye towards aging in it and leveraging technology because there's still a very tech heavy crowd at the 55 range. But they also want to be able to leave their house and now start doing everything that they wanted to do, go on vacations, go on cruises, go see Europe, all those things, but keep an eye on their house. And that's how we leverage technology. And as they get older, to be able to stay in that house, I think that is the win-win situation for a pro builder. Think and play the long game.
So when I think of living in place and think of technology, I think of some older adults who don't want any kind of help, who are very against that.
What we heard from Caregiver Smart Solutions is we've heard many a times that our aging loved ones love this because the sensors are so small. It's not a camera, it's not obtrusive, but fundamentally, we've got your back.
You're talking about things being unobtrusive, being small. That's important. So, are there any areas around the home that these technologies would be maybe best placed in?
Generally, when you look at it from an aging in place, the most important parts of the house are going to be the master bathroom and the kitchen, because unfortunately, that's where most events happen.
Mm.
Just need to know that if someone fell, we can get to you. That's all I care about. And in the kitchen, things like cooking. We want to be able to monitor the cooking. I want grandma to cook forever, but if we start seeing grandma be a little forgetful, maybe she forgets to close the front door. Maybe she forgets to turn off her lights. Maybe we start seeing those early indicators of dementia that's coming in. Now I'm more concerned about watching her stove because I don't want her to put on a pot of boiling water and then walk out the front door and then totally forget that she has that on. Again, focusing on kitchens, baths, and infrastructure is probably the best bet where technology can help really anybody, but especially our aging loved ones. Be super focused on who you are building for. In the tech industry, we talk about who we are solving the problem for. Understanding that consumer, understanding their behaviors, understanding their lifestyles, understanding the psychology of them. And that will lead to a very successful relationship. Because if you give that consumer everything they need on all those different levels, you're going to win.